So, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the link. I'm just going to talk you through the Build a Neuro Ninja video resource which your school has access to. So, there's lots of information. First of all, I better introduce myself. My name's Andrew and I work at a company called Action Your Potential. And our mission is to support every student, all parents and carers, and every member of staff in your school to build skills of being neuro ninjas. So a neuro ninja is somebody that lives in their brain understanding how it works. And we're going to work with your whole community during this year using this video resource. And this is how you use it. Do follow us on social media to catch up with what we're up to. We're always answering clients' queries. Contact us in any way. And who am I to be talking to all of you about this? I am Andrew and a brain nerd, a Senko. I've got my MA in education, a biology teacher by training, 28 years in schools, and acting head. DSL, basically I've been around the block and I'm now applying all the things I used to use in school as a Senko and all these new materials we've built in the company over the last 18 months to support schools. Over 100 schools currently, lots and lots of families as well, individual coaching sessions for young people, helping everyone develop the skills of becoming neuro ninjas. And that's the company set up in January 2019. So welcome. Let's dive into the resources. So the mission using these video resources is to try and tell the story of the brain in a short way, 5-10 minute videos, over 109 of them, helping young people, children, parents understand how to live in our amazing brain, to go from being a brain bot to being a neuro ninja, which basically means living in our brains, being more flexible and agile and applying skills of metacognition and mentalizing. Being a neuro ninja means engaging in a revolutionary way of thinking about ourselves, a paradigmatic shift. And these videos are designed to do that. They can be used by you as a tutor or a mentor or as a teacher. You can deploy them in your lessons. You can send them home for parents to access. You can work with them across a whole class. They can be in PSHE. They can be in assemblies. Basically, they're accessible anywhere and they can be watched as many times as you need to watch them. They all begin with a bit of information about the brain. They all start with a question that a child might ask about their experience, like, why am I feeling so upset now? Why does my brain worry so much? They explain the brain science and they give a habit, an activity at the end of it. So they're for children to help them build an understanding of their well-being, how to live positively, how to manage a negative mind and develop learning as well. And therefore young people, older children, so secondary children, sixth formers, etc. And they're for parents as well. It's creating that kind of link, trying to create a structure where we can all talk about the brain science using the same language. So throughout these videos, there are 3 basic strands: a well-being strand, a mind management strand, and an unleashing learning strand. And effectively, to be a neuro ninja, it's about 10 skills. And these skills will make sense as you watch the videos. So the first skill is all about the 12 rocks of well-being, and I'll mention those a little bit towards the end. Then the second skill is about living positively in a negatively biased brain. Our brain has got circuits which mean that it focuses often on things that might go possibly wrong. And so it's around managing emotion and mood, developing these kind of 3 interlinked skills of awareness, naming and talking about and processing our emotions and experiences. So that's really looking at rock 6 of the 12 rocks of well-being and unpicking that. If you don't know what rock 6 is, you'll know by the end of this video. Strand 2 is about mind management for growth. So that's about developing skills around anxiety management, developing calm down toolboxes using our bodies and brains and minds. Desirable difficulties to challenge anxiety in ourselves in ways that are supportive and not upsetting, and also knowing how to build a positive relationship with ourselves. So we don't beat ourselves up, which is often what we do when we're experiencing anxiety, worry, stress, pressure, etc. And then there's a whole area, the 3rd strand is around unleashing learning. So looking at the neuroscience of learning and then what that tells us crucially about what we all need to do daily to make sure our brain remembers more information, and how to build deliberate practice sessions to crush barriers to learning through little and often practice, and then how to put all of these skills into a daily plan, because in the end our brains respond to habitual processes. So if we can build habitual processes into every day, we can build neuro ninjahood for ourselves every day and then into the future. And that's about supporting children to do that. So there's all the skills bunged into a brain. You're welcome to have that poster. We'll share that with you. All of this is possible because we're living in a brain that is partially complete. Genetics and epigenetics have changed the brain to a point through development, but the brain waits for the environment and constantly shifts in response to the environment. So we end up being a set of structures in our head that are built on an ongoing basis in relation to what we've done with our brains. So whether we do good things, build positive habits or negative habits, they end up in the structure of our brain through repeat activity. And our brains change throughout our lives, and managing our brains and its responses to situations is incredibly powerful in terms of learning and progress. There's often this conversation that separates well-being and learning. They are the same thing. You are not going to be making learning progress. You are not going to be forming memory if you're not in your prefrontal cortex because of issues of mood management, emotion, or not managing well-being effectively. All of our work, all of these videos are built on very powerful evidence from psychology, of a strategy called mentalizing, which is thinking about our lived experience, our emotions, our feelings, and improving our responses daily through thinking and managing our feelings differently, and metacognition, which you'll know about as a teacher, reflecting on learning and thinking and choosing a particular strategy in response to anything from a problem in maths to managing kind of anxieties. So as a Neuro Ninja school with this resource pack, it's all about your students having no escape and every adult around them being equipped with the tools of support. So how do you access the videos? You follow the information in the email that I've sent you. You click on our website, actionyourpotential.org, and then you log in to your particular school's webinars page, and on there, once you put in the password, and that's in the detail in this email, you can access all of these videos. And as you can see, you've got duration, and you've got the titles of the videos, and you can use them anywhere, anytime. Those 3 strands together, linking those 10 skills. And what's really important to understand, the basic neuroscience of all the work we do is the brain builds the mind every day. That's the evidence strongly from neuroscience. The brain builds the mind every day. The mind we get to live inside is partly down to what we've done in the previous 24 hours. So every time we go to sleep, our brain encodes and enforces things that we've used it for, and they become stronger and stronger connections, and things that we don't do that often, information we don't go back over, gets weakened. So if we get into a set of habitual behaviors that are all supported by the evidence as to be strongly efficacious for learning and progress and well-being and management anxiety, we can develop ourselves in a way that means we're more resilient. And we unpack this idea of resilience and turn it into kind of tangible daily skills that we build through habits. So being a Neuro Ninja means engaging in a revolutionary shift in thinking, applying these 12 rocks of well-being to build the best version of you every day, and you'll see videos about the 12 rocks of well-being, changing your brain through changing your mind, thinking about the way you're going to do different things, dividing that experience into small, simple acts that you build into your daily experience. So you build a new habit by choosing to engage in a new activity at the same time, at the same place every day, and you build that structure into your head. And our videos are full. Every video ends with a daily life experiment, which is an activity, a skill based on the brain science that young people, that children, that parents can build into their daily experience every day to improve that experience of living in the mind that brain generates for that day. So there's all that information. There's a well-being strand, there's a mind management strand, there's all that information is available for you at any point during the course of the school year, whenever you want to access that information. Because what we want for all of the young people and the children we support is we want them to learn about their amazing brain so they can be the best for the world.
I have a lot of memories from when I was a child. One that's always stuck out to me, though, was when I was about 10 years old, and I was in school, and I struggled. And I didn't struggle with English, math, or science. I struggled holding still. And I would try to listen and focus and process ideas, but I couldn't help myself. And to be honest, I would sit there and then I would just start tapping. And the students in the class would look at me and they'd say, "Hey, stop tapping." A lot of the time, I didn't even realize I was doing it. And then eventually even the teachers got after me and they would yell at me and they'd say, "Clint, you have to stop tapping." It got so bad that I got sent to the principal's office for tapping. And he said to me, "Okay, maybe when you go back to class, just try sitting on your hands." So I did. I went back to class, and when I felt myself starting to tap, I did this. I sat on my hands. And that worked for about 5 seconds. One time I was tapping in class, and my teacher, Mr. Jensen, he looked at me and he yelled. And he said, "Clint, stay after class." And I thought to myself, this is it. I am done. Now, I've always been the type of person that believes that a single moment in time can change a person's life. And this was one of those moments for me. And I will never forget it. And so I was sitting there with Mr. Jensen and an empty classroom. And he walked past me and he sat next to his desk and he said, "Clint, come here. I want to talk to you." And as he looked me right in the eye, he said, "Now, I need you to know something. You're not in trouble. But I do have just one question that I have to ask you." And he said, "Have you ever thought about playing the drums?" And in that moment, Mr. Jensen, he leaned back and he opened the top drawer of his desk. And he reached in and he pulled out my very first pair of drumsticks. And he held them in his hands and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, Clint, you're not a problem. I think you're a drummer." From that moment on, I've never put those sticks down. I've toured, recorded, and played drums all over the world. My whole college education was paid for with drumsticks in my hand. Just because of a single moment in time when somebody believed in me and he saw something in me that I didn't even see within myself. And from that moment, I learned that there's a difference between being the best in the world and being the best for the world.
Which is what we want for every single family that we support through the school that you work in. We want everyone to learn about their amazing brains so they can be the best for the world. So try and get your rocks in every day, those 12 rocks of well-being. This is a daily life experiment for one of the first videos about well-being. Choose a couple of the rocks on that list to kind of work on. Let's find the rocks again. There they are, the 12 rocks of well-being, to build that best version of you. And if you've got any questions, need more information, just get in touch. It's fantastic to work with you, and welcome to the neuroscience revolution.